have an immodest proposal for your consideration, and that is, let's stop preaching modesty to girls and women, and perhaps in the process change for the better the way our culture perceives female bodies. I've had this issue of modesty on my brain for a long time. We're talking since childhood. My sisters and I were always indoctrinated to be as modest as possible so as to not arouse the sexual interest of boys around us. When you're a kid, that's a little bit confusing and also a little bit scary. I was reminded of all of that while reading about the incident in Richmond, Virginia, where a girl named Claire was kicked out of her homeschool prom because her dress, which did meet the fingertip length rule, was deemed so tight that it would be arousing impure thoughts in the male chaperones. There have been so many stories about middle schools and high schools banning leggings, jeggings, essentially any clothing that administrators deem too tight on female students' bodies. Girls who have been kicked out of prom because their dresses showed, I kid you not, the curvature of their breasts. Only a few weeks ago, for example, Utah High School got flamed across the internet because students found out that, oh wait, they had photoshopped clothing on girls' necklines and arms in their school yearbook pictures that they apparently deemed, I don't know, too provocative? What? Yesterday, I was reading about a sign posted at the nursing school at the University of Texas at Austin demanding that female students dress appropriately, including not wearing shirts that reveal any cleavage whatsoever. If you are a large-breasted woman, you know that that can be a challenge so as to not, quote, distract from the learning environment. When you unravel these messages that are often targeted at girls, what they're being told from a young age is that if they dress a certain way, then they're asking for it. These messages do a disservice to boys, teaching them also from a young age that essentially they're just sex-crazed visual creatures and would-be rapists, removing agency from both boys and girls, making this a lose-lose situation. When you look into the actual science of men's sexual responses, this idea that they are simply visual creatures who need female gatekeepers to make sure that they don't start just wanting to screw everything in sight is just a touch off base. According to a 2007 meta-analysis looking at sex differences in how men and women respond to sexual stimuli, the researchers stressed that the way that men respond sexually has a host of factors behind it: psychological, biological, physiological, sociological. A girl wearing a spaghetti strap tank top should not flip some switch in the male brain that says, must have sex now, oh, I cannot do work anymore. It also cited an interesting 2001 study which found that the more men were exposed to women, co-educational experiences, and less hyper-masculinized sex roles, the less sexual intent they read into their interactions with women. I.e., we can effectively teach boys to respect women no matter what they're wearing. Isn't that a radical thought? Something has to change. And it's not the clothes that girls are wearing. That's pretty good. Stop telling girls that they essentially have to protect themselves from their own bodies. Stop telling boys that they can't protect themselves or other people from their own bodies. We're also living in a culture wherein often the way that girls feel the most validated is through male attention. Girls need stronger and more empowering messages than that, and telling them to just go home and change their clothes isn't the answer. That's not gonna help anybody, because you know what? They're gonna just dress how they want on the weekends, and that's the fact of life. For boys in particular, we need to dismantle the dominant masculinity that treats girls and women as sexual prizes to be had. For boys and girls alike, we need to more boldly teach them that sexuality is perfectly natural. It's perfectly natural to see something and feel something in response, but that there are healthy and consensual ways to exercise it. This kind of crucial cultural change is not gonna happen if we just keep telling girls to go change clothes. This has been my immodest proposal. Let me know yours in the comments below.